All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of the M1 Podcast. And before I start, I would like to say that I do write sports articles on Stadium Rant, and I would like to let y'all know that I do have an Instagram and the number one underscore podcast, and a Twitter and one podcast 23. Now, I was gonna make an episode after round one, but there's a lot of interesting stuff going on, and might as well just give a little recap on what's going on in the playoffs right now. Boston is leading the Miami Heat 3-1. We making a 3-1 comeback. It don't matter. We're gonna make that thing happen. All right. Heat in 7. The Orlando Magic actually put up a fight. Cleveland leads the series 3-2. Orlando actually blew them out in their 2 wins. That is insane. I really thought that was gonna be a sweep. The Bucks and the Pacers. Man, last night was a disappointment. The Pacers should have closed it out, especially with no Dame and no Giannis. But for some reason, somehow, Chris Middleton, Pat Bev, of all people, they showed up last night, and the Pacers just didn't have an answer. Same thing with the Knicks. The Knicks should have closed it out last night, but Tyrese Maxey, let me tell y'all something. The 76ers is now Tyrese Maxey's team. I don't want to hear nothing about his Joel Embiid's team anymore. Yeah, Embiid put up a triple-double. He also had 9 turnovers. He didn't score that much. No. Especially the fact that this man had a 70-point game earlier this year. This man was leading the league in points per game before his injury, and you telling me that he couldn't even get 30 points in a closeout game? Not even a closeout game, but an elimination game? No. Unacceptable. Tyrese nearly drops 50, and he saved the Sixers. He saved them. He tied the game in the fourth quarter, near the end of the game. Deep three. That was a very nice shot. But I don't know why the Knicks didn't foul. But, I'm not going to get to that. We're going to go to the Western Conference now. The Thunder obviously sweeps the Pelicans. Somehow, the Clippers and the Mavericks is a tied series, and it's still competitive. The Suns get swept by the Timberwolves. I will get to that. And the GOAT James gets eliminated in the first round for the second time in his career. I will get to that as well. But I want to talk about that Miami series. What happened game 5? Miami, what happened game 5? I don't know. Look, Miami's pissing me off. Miami is pissing me off because they had so many nice threes. They had so many open shots. They couldn't make them. They played great defense against the Boston Celtics. But somehow, once again, Derek White just ruins the hopes and dreams of Miami, scoring 38 in game 5. How? How did we let this happen? Game 5 really pissed me off. And I'm not going to lie to y'all. After watching game 5, if we lose this series, Miami, we got to rebuild. We got to rebuild. But congrats to Boston if you beat Miami. We didn't have our star player. Congrats. You got both of your star players. And one of your star players isn't even showing up. I'm talking about Jason Tatum right now. I don't care what anybody say. Playoff Tatum is not a thing. Playoff Tatum, this Kobe comparison, this shoving down, oh, he looked up to Kobe. Oh, Kobe was his, all of that. Nah, it needs to get out my face. It really does need to get out my face. 23 points per game in the playoffs? Really? On 41% shooting and 25% from 3? Really? When this season you were averaging 26 points per game on 47% shooting and 37% from 3? When last season you were averaging 30 points per game? First Boston Celtics player to average 30 points per game in a season? And this is what you're delivering? Bam Adebayo is Miami's point per game average in the playoffs this season. Bam is averaging 22 points per game in the playoffs. You telling me you, Jason Tatum, you're only averaging 1 more point than Bam Adebayo when you're the first scoring option? You, buddy. When you last season was averaging 30 points per game. And then the NBA want to give this commercial talk about, oh, playoff mode isn't a thing. Oh, you're damn right it's not a thing for Jason Tatum. I love how they had Jason Tatum say that. It's really not a thing for him. He has so much playoff experience. I don't want to hear nothing like that. He has a lot of playoff experience. He's 25. He has a finals appearance under his belt, and he's only averaging 23. I understand that this is the Miami Heat. I get that. But this man has been very, very passive this playoffs. And unfortunately, Kristaps Porzingis went down with an injury in game 5. So, I'm gonna lie, Miami, this is the opportunity. Seriously, in my opinion, if Miami loses this series, it is time to rebuild because there's no reason that we should be running it back with the same core again when we had 2 finals appearances. That's nice, but nothing's going on at this point. And trade Tyler Hero this offseason. I don't know. Maybe trade Jovic. Jovic has been playing pretty good in the playoffs so far. but maybe trade Jovic for some draft picks or a star. I don't know, but man, it's not looking good for us. But we're gonna beat them. We're gonna beat them in 7. This is the time where Miami just when you underestimate Miami, this is when they play their best. So down 3-1, backs against the wall. It's time for us to deliver. We're gonna beat Boston, coming back to Miami in Game 6. Game 7, go back to Boston, whoop them in Game 7, make them blow that 3-1 lead. Boom, we're going to the second round. Second round, we're going to face either Orlando or Cleveland. I still got Cleveland. I was really shocked that they did not sweep them, and they lost in a blowout in both games to Orlando. But hey, man, last night, Evan Mobley delivered. Nice block at the end of the game to save Cleveland. Cleveland is up 3-2. Honestly, that's a pretty shocking series. It's always the series that you never expect to be pretty entertaining. It's always the series that you never expect to be shocking and just to keep going when you thought it was just going to end quickly. Same thing with the Sixers and the Knicks. I don't care what anybody says. That's not Joel Embiid's team anymore. Joel Embiid continues to wet the bed when it comes to either a closeout game or an elimination game. Last night, Tyrese Maxey really had to save Joel Embiid's behind. 46 points for Maxey. Just incredible. 56% from the field and 58% from 3. Although he did miss 3 key free throws. Well, not key free throws, but he missed 3 free throws back to back to back. Although they were different possessions, he still missed 3 free throws. But it didn't matter. It did not matter. Because when they were down 94-97 with like 20 seconds left, Tyrese Maxey just casually walks down the court with about 10 seconds left on the clock, pulls up from the damn E in New York, and splashes it to tie the game, sending the game into overtime. And Tyrese Maxey, he saves the Sixers. They survive for another game, Game 6. Joel Embiid, 36% from the field in 47 minutes, 19 points. Triple-double is nice, 19 points, 16 rebounds, 10 assists, 9 turnovers. That is unacceptable from any player, especially from a guy who was an MVP candidate. Well, he could have been an MVP candidate this season if he didn't fall with that injury. But once again, I can't believe I really thought Joel Embiid was really going to beat the allegations of him being a playoff choker when the time really mattered. But I ain't going to lie, this series, very interesting. Only game to go into double digits. Only game for a double-digit win was Game 3, I believe. It was Game 3 where the Sixers won by 11 points. Embiid put up 50 points. It was either Game 3 or Game 4, one of those games. But this is a really good series, really amazing series. I think the Knicks are going to close it out in Philly, although I did have Philly because I don't like Knicks fans because Knicks fans are very delusional. But, hey, man, in all honesty, it seems like the Knicks are going to win this series for real. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, New York. We should have won game. We should have won last night. But you know, Tyrese Maxey, he delivered. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Tyrese Maxey's a star. He's a star player. But New York, stand up, baby, New York, stand up, New York. We're gonna beat them. We're gonna beat the 76ers. We're gonna beat them. We're gonna go to the second round. And now I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm very shocked that the Pacers lost last night. The Bucks finally did what every other team should have done against the Indiana Pacers: play good defense. That's it. That's literally it. Indiana's motto is just outscore. We're going to outscore you. And Milwaukee, somehow, without Damian Lillard and without Giannis, they were able to keep the Pacers out of rhythm. Let me say that. They were able to keep the Pacers out of rhythm. And I'm just shocked. I am shocked. Chris Middleton delivered once again, 29 points for Chris Middleton. Somehow this series is pretty entertaining because for the past 3 games, Middleton has been going crazy. Middleton hitting those 2 clutch threes, even though the Pacers still won the game. That was still incredible from Chris Middleton. So I honestly thought that Chris Middleton wasn't going to do anything this series because those injuries has really made him fall off. But it seems like I have to apologize once again. I was not familiar with the game, sir. I was not. And Middleton has been delivering definitely. Now, this is not good for the Pacers because with this loss, there's a possibility that Giannis and or Lillard could be coming back. And if both of them come back, oh boy, it might be wraps. It really might be wraps. I had the Pacers in 5, but it seems like it's going to be Pacers in 6. Pacers are going to close it out in Indiana. Now, I'm done with the East. It's time to go to the West. OKC sweeps the Pelicans. Come on now. Did we really think that the Pelicans were going to get one win with no Zion against OKC? Let's be real now. Not to mention that OKC's coach also won Coach of the Year. So congrats to him for that. Shea is still looking like a superstar. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins MVP. I'm still giving it to Jokic, but I wouldn't be surprised if Shea wins it. I wouldn't be surprised if Luka wins it. Speaking of Luka, Dallas Mavericks, they're tied 2-2. They are tied. This right here is a playoff rivalry besides the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics. This right here is a playoff rivalry, and I'm loving it. Clippers almost had the biggest choke job in the playoffs, but somehow they did it. They actually won the game. They were up by 31 points in game 4, and by the miracles of Kyrie brung them up within 2, but then somehow they won the game. Somehow the Clippers won the game. This is a really good series, really good competitive series. Besides the Knicks series, which has been almost a close game, this has been a really competitive series as well. I mean, almost every series is competitive, but these two series right here, those two, I mean, you got the Bucks, but I'm really looking at Knicks and Sixers and then Clippers and Mavs. Those two are probably the most competitive series in these playoffs so far. Luka, I mean, it's Luka. Kyrie has been going crazy. Oh my Lord. Kyrie Irving once again shows that he can show up in the playoffs. But I still got Mavs in 6. I don't care. Playoff P, way off P, pandemic P, green P, it don't matter. It's going to be Mavs in 6. But now let me get to the Suns and the Timberwolves. This was shocking, only because that they got swept. I don't think anybody was really expecting them to sweep the Suns. I wasn't. I had the Timberwolves in 5. I thought the Suns were at least going to get one game. But to my surprise, nope. The Suns did not even get a single game. Anthony Edwards, he is big time. Anthony Edwards, I will say it. I did have my doubts about just what he be saying, but I am going to say it right now. Anthony Edwards is going to be the next face of the NBA. He has the skill. He has the marketability. He has the swagger. He has it all. He has the full package. Anthony Edwards is the next face of the NBA. This man outplayed his idol. He outplayed his idol. I mean, his idol is 36 years old, but it don't matter. Kevin Durant did show up. He definitely did. But, jeez, man, you looked up to the man, and you not only did you outplay your idol, you swept your idol. And in game 3, this man does the DX crotch chop. I'm not going to lie. I thought he was going to get fined. I haven't seen anything. Maybe he did. I just didn't notice. But dang, Anthony Edwards, you got it, man. You got it. 31 points per game in that series against the Suns. Second round, they're going against the Denver Nuggets because the Los Angeles Lakers got eliminated in 5 games. Coach James got eliminated in 5 games. It's not Coach James' fault. It's not Anthony Davis's fault. It is the rest of those damn Lakers because D'Lo doesn't know how to be consistent. Austin Reeves doesn't know how to be consistent. Where's Roy Hachimura? I don't know. Darvin Ham is not a coach. That man is a motivational speaker. That's it. All right, we got them dudes. All right, we got them dudes. Don't worry, guys. God gave y'all these talents to play really good basketball. We got them. Instead of making some adjustments, instead of making some plays, instead of making, I don't know. You know how bad of a coach you got to be for your players to be just not listen to you after a couple months, bruh. They haven't been listening to this guy since about February. Since January or February. They haven't even been engaged in what he has to say. And they said they have, now it's speculations. It's not confirmed, but it's just speculations that they have been better off coaching themselves because Darvin Ham doesn't know how to coach. You know the memes, hands in his pockets. If you know how bad you gotta be for your best player's son to post a meme about you? Oh my God. I'm not even a Lakers fan. I'm not even a Lakers fan. I'm a GOAT James fan. And somehow, at the age of 39 years old, this man LeBron James still has to carry his team. Anthony Davis showed up. I'm not going to get on Anthony Davis. I hope he gets better. I really do. I'm not going to say anything about AD because he showed up. He's been locking up Jokic to the best of his abilities. But everybody else, what is wrong with you? D'Lo, how you go from making like 6 threes in the first half of game 2 to going 0 for 7 in the damn game 3? It's Jamal Murray, what the hell? He makes a buzzer beater in game 2 over AD, and then he closes the series in game 5. Oh man, oh my God! At this point, LeBron might as well leave LA. Just leave LA, man. Leave LA. They don't deserve you. They don't deserve your expertise. 27 points per game. Why is he averaging 40 minutes a game? Why is LeBron averaging 40 minutes a game at 39 years old? 27 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists per game. This man is averaging regular season stats. He's averaging MVP stats. That's playoff LeBron for you. Anthony Davis, I'm not going to say nothing about him because he was averaging about 30 points, 15 rebounds. So that you got nothing from me. You showed up. But the rest of those players, the rest of them, get the hell out of LA. Get the hell out of LA. I don't understand why. Again, I'm not a Lakers fan. I'm a GOAT James fan. LeBron, come to Miami. Come to Miami. Please, please. Decline that player option. Come to Miami. I mean, look, Pat Riley still got the key under the mat. Come to Miami. We'll draft Bronny for you. Don't listen to LA. Don't listen to LA. They're not gonna do nothing for you because it doesn't make any sense that D'Lo was playing great. He was playing great in the second half of the season. Trade deadline D'Lo was amazing. Playoffs come. I thought D'Lo was actually gonna show up. He showed up in game 2, and that's it. He fizzled out again. Hey, Austin Reeves, he got that extension last season. He was playing pretty good this season. Playoffs come around. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It makes no damn sense that in the first 2-3 games, Taurean Prince was the only guy off the Lakers bench to score. And I believe in like game 2 or after like game 3, LeBron and Anthony Davis combined, they scored more points than the rest of the Lakers combined. I don't understand how the Lakers managed to have the lead. They had the lead longer, like combined minutes. They had the lead longer than the Nuggets, and they still managed to lose in 5. The Nuggets are gonna repeat, man. They're gonna repeat. And if it's not the Nuggets, I said the Pistons. Jesus, where am I getting the Pistons from? They're terrible. The Timberwolves, they might give the Pistons. How am I saying the Pistons? My God, the Timberwolves, they're gonna give the Nuggets a run for their money. I want to go back to that Timberwolves and Suns series. Oh, man, that Suns series. Kevin Durant has the worst narrative, worst legacy of any superstar in NBA history. I don't care what anybody says. Because you left OKC after blowing a 3-1 lead. Joined the team that you lost to, that 73-9 Warriors team. You won 2 championships, 2 finals MVPs. You leave that team to go to Brooklyn. That Warriors team wins a championship without you. And while in Brooklyn, you couldn't even make it back to the finals. Furthest that you made it was a game 7 in the second round. You get swept the next season to Boston. You come to Phoenix. You couldn't make it out the second round. This season, you get swept again. I'm sorry. Look, Kevin Durant will go down in history as one of the greatest scorers of all time. But he has the worst narrative. He has the worst legacy. It's just true. It is true. Those rings are not real rings. Those are fraudulent rings, man. That was an overpowered team, and you know it. And other Kevin Durant stands are gonna be like, oh well, it's a ring. It don't matter. It's a ring. A ring is a ring. He won the championship. It don't matter. Yeah. He couldn't make it back to the finals after leaving the Warriors. The Warriors were able to win a championship without him. I'm sorry. I don't like the Warriors, but the facts are facts. Even though the Warriors faced an inexperienced team, so obviously they were going to win that series, but it's the truth. The Warriors won a championship without KD, and KD couldn't even make it to the conference finals without them. He left, And furthest that he made it was a game 7. And now I understand what you're going to say. Oh, well, if his shoe size was smaller, he would have made it to the conference finals. I know, but his shoe size wasn't smaller. He didn't make it to the conference finals. He lost in 7. All right. He got swept twice in the first round with a big 3. Well, actually, no, because Harden left. With Kyrie, he got swept, and that was the worst playoff series of his career. This series against the Timberwolves, big 3. All guys capable of averaging 30 points per game, and swept. Bradley Beal did not show up. After Bradley Beal was boasting, oh, I never got swept. I ain't. Man, you ain't even make it to the conference finals. Don't even say nothing. I never got swept. I'll be damned if I get swept. Next game. Well, I'll be damned. Yeah, you'll be damned. You got swept. And you ain't even show up. You had, 9 points in game 4? Unacceptable. In all honesty, the Suns are in the absolute worst situation of any team in the league right now. Because you have Bradley Beal, you have Devin Booker, and you have KD combining for $150 million in salary next season. That right there, I'm pretty sure that's more than some teams in the league right now. So there's that. All right. Another thing, for some reason, Bradley Beal has a no trade clause in his contract, even though he's not a superstar. In my opinion, he's not even a star. He's an all-star caliber player, but he's not even a star player. And my definition of a star is like a secondary superstar. Somebody like a Jaylen Brown. That's a star in my opinion. Kyrie as well. But he has a no trade clause for some reason in his contract, so he ain't going nowhere. Devin Booker and KD are like really the only moves that you can truly make, because what are you gonna get for Grayson Allen or Eric Gordon or Yusuf Nurkic? You know what makes their situation even worse? They have no draft picks for the rest of this decade. From 2025 to 2030, they're gone. All those draft picks are gone. They're either in Washington or they're in oh my God, they're in Brooklyn. Oh man, this is just terrible. This is disgustingly terrible. Or Milwaukee. Let's not forget about that. There's a draft pick in Milwaukee too. You mean to tell me that just a couple years ago, just 3 years ago, this team was in the NBA Finals, and now they managed to get swept in the first round after having 3 of some of the best scorers in the league? Pretty stupid. It is pretty stupid that they literally just blew up the entire finals team. I understand they ran it back and it wasn't good because Monty Williams and DeAndre Ayton weren't seeing eye to eye, and they fired Monty Williams even though he got them to the finals. That was pretty stupid. And then you trade DeAndre Ayton for Yusuf Nurkic. That's wonderful. What did Yusuf Nurkic do in these playoffs? Absolutely nothing. He couldn't even average double-digit rebounds. That was one of their biggest problems. They're rebounding. Another thing, their biggest problem, ever since Kevin Durant even showed up, their bench. Their bench is terrible. You're relying on 3 stars, and that is it. As soon as I saw Grayson Allen go down with that injury, I really knew that series was just definitely over now. In all honesty, Phoenix, there's not really much Phoenix can do, because best case scenario is either trade Devin Booker or trade KD. But really, who's going to want a 36-year-old Kevin Durant? Nobody's going to want that. And Kevin Durant wasn't even happy with the situation that he was in Phoenix because he was more of a corner sitter. And Kevin Durant is not a corner sitter. He needs the ball in his hands. But unfortunately, just like his situation in Brooklyn, his other 2 stars need the ball in their hands. I don't know why he didn't learn that from Brooklyn, but and you know, the obvious problem in Phoenix everybody keeps talking about is no point guard. There's that too. Yes, Devin Booker is not a bad playmaker, but Devin Booker is a score-first player. When you had Chris Paul dishing out assists to Devin Booker, that was great. When you had Chris Paul dishing out assists and pick and rolls to DeAndre Ayton, that was great. Now you got Devin Booker handling the ball, or you got Bradley Beal handling the ball, or you got KD handling the ball, passing left to right. Although they are not bad playmakers, they're not playmakers in general. They're not, I don't want to say they're not pass first, but in reality, they're score first guys. Their mentality is put the ball in the basket in any way you can, whether it's catch and shoot, whether it's off the dribble. That's their mentality. But because there's no point guard, one of them has to play point guard, and it's usually either Bradley Beal or Devin Booker. So I don't know what Phoenix can do. I don't know what Phoenix is gonna do in the offseason. There's not much they can do. Like I said, best case scenario is either trade KD or Booker. But honestly, you might have to trade Booker. You really might have to trade Devin Booker so you can get some draft picks. I guess a star, but mainly just some draft picks. Although Booker is making the least out of them, you're not trading Beal because Beal has that no trade clause for some odd reason. But I don't know. I don't know. These playoffs have been very, very interesting. They've been pretty good. I can't wait to see how the second round is going to look like. And I have honestly nothing else to say besides this one last thing. Heat in 7. And with that being said, I'm out.